Hi, fourth grade. I am so excited to be connecting with you again this week as we head into week 2 of online learning. I really hope that you've been connecting with Mrs. Lopez and I through Zoom and through Google Classroom. I really hope you've been doing your assignments because we're going to continue to learn and be successful. Now, we are going to dive right in. We are still using our text from last week. So we're still using "The Beatles were fab and they were funny." So if you haven't already, please go reread the story. I've linked it again for you. Just log back into your HMH and it should take you directly to that story. Now, it's important for us to learn text structure as we are reading texts and stories so that we can better understand how the author wrote and his purpose for writing. Now, authors can use one text structure throughout the whole story, or they can use multiple structures throughout their story. It just depends on what their purpose for writing is. So I also linked for you an anchor chart for text structure, and so we're going to be reviewing that right now. So as you're watching this, just kind of keep in mind that you have to go look at the anchor chart. So we have 4 text structures that we need to know because authors will write within one of these structures. So our first one is compare or contrast, so comparison and contrast. Now, the purpose of this structure is to describe how things are alike and how they're different. And so this one usually will have examples of how 2 things are alike and then how they are different. Pretty self-explanatory. Now, some words for that text structure that you should be looking for are the words like but, both, however, and. These are key words to help you find, or like clue words to help you find the structure that the author's writing in and whether or not it's comparison and contrast. Now, our second text structure is cause and effect. Now, the purpose of this one is to explain what happened and why it happened. The cause, why it happened, and the effect would be, well, what happened because of this thing, right? So our transition words for that one, we need to look for clue words like because, so, in order to, and as a result. These words will help you find the cause and the effect text structure in the story. Now, our third text structure is sequence. Now, sequence or chronological order, as they're both called, like it's the same thing. Its purpose is to explain events in order. Remember, sequence means order. And so our transition words for this one are pretty simple. We've heard these a lot. Could be words like before, first, next, then, last, and after. These are words to help you identify to see if it is sequence or chronological order. And our last text structure is problem and solution. Now, the purpose of this is to show a problem and how it's solved. And our transition words are problem, solution, difficulty, or you could see the words the answer is, and that would be an indication that it is problem and solution. Now, I want you to kind of focus or bring your attention to chronological order or sequence as a text structure. Now, on the anchor chart, remember our transition words: before, first, next, then, last, after. I want you to pay attention and see if you can find these words in the story. The Beatles were fab and they were funny. And I want you to practice identifying the text structure in our story. And so, right now, I want you to go and look in your story and start answering the questions that I have put in a Google Doc for each of you. Now, take your time, do your best, refer to the anchor chart, and if you have any questions, please ask me on Google Classroom or have your parents' class dojo me, and we will also be connecting on Zoom on Wednesday. All right, 4th grade, I believe in you. You got this. I'll see you later.